Hey guys, it's Simblr and welcome back to my channel. Today I am back with another tutorial video. Today I am going to be showing you how I build houses using a floor plan, and I'm going to be building it in The Sims 3 just because it's a little bit easier to count the spaces because it actually counts it for you instead of you having to count the squares yourself. So this is the house I'm going to be building. I just looked on floorplans.com. They have a lot of variety. You can choose how many bedrooms you want, how many bathrooms, how many, what kind of style of house you want, and there's just a bunch of things to choose from, and it'll give you the exterior picture here, and then if you scroll down, which I did before because I don't know why, but yeah, it'll tell you all the specifications. It's got 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 stories, and it has 2 garages, which I did not see before, but you know, oh, okay, there it is, it's in the back. But here is the first level of the floor plan, and you can see it's going this way, so it's actually this part right here, and it goes back through the house. So right here is where the front door is, and then this will be the front porch area. And I like to use floor plans that have some of the furniture and stuff in it. You don't necessarily have to go by the furniture layout in these floor plans, but it does give you a better idea of how many spaces there are. Like, here's a stove right here. You can tell that would be 1 square space. So next to it, this counter space is about pretty much the same. So the kitchen, if you count over, this right here would be about 2 spaces, and then this would probably be another 2 spaces. So you can have like the refrigerator and stuff there, and another counter. So if you count that, that would be 4, 5, 6 spaces wide for the kitchen. And then if you go over here to the living room, there's like a little desk here and stuff. But yeah, basically, like, you can see the bathroom here. The bathrooms will usually have like a little layout sketched out into the floor plan for you, so you can basically see the size of the bathroom as well. So right here there's a shower, and it looks like it's a 2 space wide shower here, and then because you can see, because there's a toilet right here, toilets are a 1 by 1 space in The Sims, so you can pretty much guesstimate the size that the bathroom will be based on that. And then the sink here looks like 1 space, and then there's like a little shelf area here, which I'll probably put a shower here and then put a tub there because that's what makes most sense to me. Just use like a little tub there and then a separate shower instead of doing a shower bath combo. Or you can always just put 2 sinks or add a laundry thing in here as well. But you can tell by looking at this that the bathroom would be 2 by 4 spaces wide, and then you can pretty much guess what size the other rooms will be based on that. And then you can also go by doors. Like this window right here looks like it'd be 1 space wide. These over here, they look like they'd be about 2 wide, but yeah, I'd have to figure that out a little bit. But yeah, basically those windows look like they'd be 2 wide, so this side of the house would probably be about 2, 4, 6, and then this is about 1 wide, so it'd be 7 and 8, so it'd be 8 wide on this, and then, you know, you'd have to count all of that. But yeah, I'll show you how to do that in just a second. And then over here is the upper floor, and I chose one that has more than 1 bedroom just because I kind of wanted to give you an idea of how I calculate the bedroom size and everything. And then, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and sketch that out on a piece of graph paper, and I will show you how you can also do it in GIMP, which is a free program that you can download. I'll show you how to do it on that if you don't have graph paper available, or you can make your own graph paper. You know, it's pretty simple. You just get a ruler and measure out the spaces and everything. But yeah, I'll just show you how to sketch it out on graph paper, and I'll just sketch out the entire floor plan because that's what I usually do whenever I'm building a house. I'll sketch out the whole floor plan, and then I'll add in the number of spaces that each of them are, just so that I know whenever I'm going into do the speed build portion of it, I don't have to sit there and count on the graph paper and then count in the game how many spaces it's supposed to be. So yeah, I'm just gonna do like a little drawing of that, and yeah, hopefully you guys find it helpful. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into that. Alright, so here is my graph paper, and I'm just gonna show you guys real quick how I sketch out. I'm just gonna sketch out the first floor, just because I can give you a basic idea of how I sketch out a floor plan, and hopefully you guys are able to see this. Sorry if my voice keeps going back and forth. My camera's like behind me, so I'm just kind of looking at that, trying to look at this, and trying to look at my computer because it's over to the other side of me. But yeah, we're just gonna get in here, sketch it. And whenever I'm sketching a floor plan, I like to start with the front door, and usually for a front door they'll be about 2 tiles wide, so I'll just choose where I want the front door to be, and I'm gonna start it about right here, This looks like I've got enough space on both sides and everywhere so that I'd be able to complete the floor plan. And then it looks like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And it looks on the, what's it called? The floor plan that the door is actually 3 wide, but there's no 3 wide door that I would use for this specific house because it is a modern house and I don't think there are any 3 wide doors for a modern house. So instead of doing that, I'm just gonna put 2 spaces over here and then 1 over here, and then there's a little indentation right there, and I'll put a little picture of the floor plan on the camera now so that you guys can kind of follow along with me and see what I'm doing. And then over here, this wall goes down, and there's a window there, and it looks like, let's see, it looks like that'd be about a 4 wide wall here. So for a window, I just sketch a little square here, and that's where the window would be. You can pretty much put the windows wherever you would like them to be, but I do like to include them in my floor plan because it's just easier whenever I'm doing a speed build to be able to just look at it and say, okay, this is where I'm going to put a window. So I just get a better idea of where everything's going to go. And then over here is where the living room is, so I'm just going to go ahead and look at that, and it looks like this is another 1 space added to the kitchen over here because the kitchen comes out 1 from where this wall is. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that space in, and then that's where the couch starts. So the couch starts right here, so I'm going to put 1 square there, and I'm sorry you guys can probably hear that, but it's just kind of crazy. But and then they have a sectional in this floor plan, but I'm just going to pretend that it's just a regular couch and then a love seat. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 next to it because that's usually how you put together a sectional, not a sectional, but a couch and a love seat, you know, just together. So, and then there will be another space over here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 1. And because whenever I'm doing living rooms or something, I like for everything to be kind of close and kind of feel cramped, but not too cramped. Obviously, your Sims still need to be able to get to things, but that's the idea I like to go with. And then for this, like I said, these windows over here are about 2 spaces wide, so I'm going to put 1 wall here, and then over here I'm going to put a window there, and then I'll just put 2 more here, so count out 4 spaces, and then just sketch in the windows there. And I'm using a pen. Usually I would use a pencil in case I mess up, because I usually mess up a lot, but I'm using a pen so you guys can see it on the camera a little bit better. But then there is another wall space right there, and then I never like to put windows like directly next to a wall unless that's kind of the style I'm going for. If there's like a corner window, which is just very modern houses, and I don't want there to be any corner windows in this one, so I'm just going to go ahead and sketch another wall portion there. And I forgot to add a window right here because it looks like there's a 1 wide window there, and then there's another one directly across from it, so I'll go ahead and sketch that in. And then there is a 2 wide here. Yeah, that looks, yeah, okay. And then there's a wall, because there's a desk area right here. And the desk actually goes all the way across right here in the floor plan, but a desk is usually 2 spaces wide. And I don't like to put desks in front of a window. You could, of course, place together 2 desks and just like use the move objects to kind of make them look like 1 desk. But yeah, that's basically... I know that the kitchen starts 1 away from right here, so that's kind of what I was basing that on. And then you can go ahead and do the kitchen, which we already did before. There's 1 space here, which is a counter, another space for the stove, and then 2 wide between that, and then there's another wide 2 wide one here, which is where the refrigerator and another counter would go. And then you can pretty much guesstimate how this goes. And for hallways, I always like for them to be 2 spaces wide, so that's the idea I'm going to go with. And it looks like this hallway starts out as a wider hallway and then goes more narrow towards the garage. So I'm going to counter that into my floor plan here, and I'm going to make it a 3 wide hallway right here at the beginning, because I know that it gets narrower and I like for there to be 2 wide hallways, just because 1 wide hallways just, they don't feel big enough. And if you have multiple Sims going down the hallway at the same time, they're not really gonna be able to do it very well. So yeah, then we're gonna start on this bedroom over here, and I know that it goes back 1 here, which you can tell by looking at the floor plan. It just looks like a 1 wide space because it's about the same distance as this window here. And then I'm just gonna go over which looks to be, this might be 1 because over here there's like a little closet area and it's just a 1 space thing, and then over here is like well, that might be a shelf in the hallway here. So I'm just gonna put an S there to make it stand for shelf, and then usually if I accidentally put a wall where there's not supposed to be one, I'll either exit out or put a little arrow next to it just to remind me that there's not supposed to be a wall there, and I'm just gonna make that like a little shelf area. And then over here is a closet, and closets I usually like to make a 2 wide, and then if there's an archway in my floor plan, I just like to make a dotted line instead of a full line. Or if you're gonna have doors there instead of an archway, you can just draw one of those things. It just indicates that there's a doorway there, and you'll know that whenever you're building the floor plan. And then you'll need to decide whether or not you want 1 wide or 2 wide doors in your house. And usually I like to have 1 wide not floor plans, but doorways. So I'm just gonna stick 1 there, and on this floor plan, it looks a little bit too narrow for that, so I'm going to say that this is actually extended, and this is why I usually like to use pencils. So let me go ahead and sketch in this room since I know how big it's going to be now. But there's a doorway right here, and then usually why I use the pencil is because the room looked too narrow, so I'm going to have to move this stuff over and make this a 2 wide, and then make this closet a 2 wide, and then I just have to fix it, which, you know, with a pencil it's a lot easier, but instead of making this like a little shelf room, I'll just make it a laundry room instead, and I won't put a door here. And then next to it there is a bathroom, which we've already went over, so there's a 2 by 4 space there, and actually, this does not line up at all. So, yeah, I'll just have to move these up a little bit. So I just put an arrow right there to indicate the need to move up. If I was using pencil, then I just need to erase it. But, yeah, I can see on the floor plan there that it is a 4 by 2 wide bathroom. And this is actually 5, not 4. You know what? It's fine. It won't always line up according to how you're building it in The Sims. Because going over this, I can pretty much just assume that... Hang on, let me just sketch in a few things there. I could pretty much just assume that, wait, okay. Sorry about that. But I always like to sketch in the floor plan for the bathroom just so I have an idea of where things are going to be going. Yeah, the floor plan won't always line up with your graph paper because in The Sims it's kind of different than in real life, because I'm guessing that the shower here is meant to be like a 2 by 2 space. Even though it doesn't really look like that in the floor plan, that's kind of what it's looking like whenever you sketch it out. And then these over here are some windows. But yeah, you just need to kind of tweak the floor plan a little bit according to what will work in The Sims. And, you know, if you build a lot in The Sims, then you kind of know what works and what doesn't, and how big furniture items are and stuff. So you'll need to make sure that whenever you're building the rooms that you actually include enough space so that Sims can actually get around the bed. You can fit in everything you need to in the bedrooms. So a bed in The Sims is 3 by 1 space if you use a single bed, 2 by 3 if you use a big bed. So you'll need to make sure you plan for that whenever you're drawing out the floor plan. So I'm just gonna pretend I'm gonna put a bed here, so I'll go ahead and sketch that in, and it's just a little square there. And then this right here is gonna be moved up 1 because I messed up because I'm an idiot. But yeah, that's gonna be moved up 1. So I'll need to be sure there's at least 1 space here, which there is, so that's good. And then there's obviously enough space in the rest of the room to be able to add a dresser and everything. So you just need to make sure you count for that whenever you're building the floor plan. And then we're gonna go ahead and move down here, and I know that this is the same size as this area up here, so I'm gonna go ahead and sketch that in. And then yeah, this goes up about the same because the house I'm building is kind of like a box shape. So if you can just look at the floor plan and see that the lines add up, you can pretty much guess where those lines need to be, and then you just counter for that. And then over here I know that there's going to be a 2 wide hallway, so let me go ahead and draw a line there because the wall connects there. And then here is the 2 wide hallway, and then this doesn't go all the way out because there is another hallway right here, which you go down to about, let's see. I know for houses I'd like for there to be a 2 wide space for stairways, but it doesn't look like there's actually going to be enough room for that. Is there? Let me just go ahead and close this right here, and then in the floor plan, this is just like cut down the middle, but you can't actually do that in The Sims unless you just like build 2 walls here and then just close that off. But I don't want to do that, so you just have to kind of determine what these 2 rooms are going to be, because in floor plans there are a lot of closets that you'll have to counter for. If you want to include closets, you know, that's an option you can always go with, but I know most people don't usually build closets in The Sims because there's really no point for them. They're mostly just aesthetic purposes. But one of these is actually a closet, and the other one, this one actually has numbered rooms, and it tells you on the side what each of the rooms are. And number 4 is actually mech, whatever that stands for. I don't know what that would be, but it's right off the garage, so I'm assuming it's like some kind of tool room or something. But I think I'm going to make that the laundry room instead of this area over here, and I'll just make that either a shelf or another closet connected to this room, and then I'll just decide that whenever I'm building the floor plan. So for a laundry room, I'm just going to make it like a 2 by 2 wide space, because that's really all you need. You can make it 3 wide if you want to include a a sink in there, but you know, it's not really a requirement. Or you could make it a 3 wide and include a hamper. That's always a possibility. And then here, it looks like it's just a double closet here. Like there's one on this side and one on this side. And usually for closets, if there are closets in a floor plan, I like to turn them into like a little shelf thing, like a little built-in shelf area or a bookshelf area. You know, you could always do that. So I'll probably turn these into books. And then this over here, I'll probably make a shelf or a closet out of. So I'll just go ahead and write that into the floor plan. And then this right here, I know is the laundry room, so I'll put an L there. And then for the bedrooms, I'll put a BR, and then just the number that the bedroom is. For bathrooms, I'll put a BA. And then for the kitchen over here, I'll just put a KIT. And then the dining is also with the kitchen, so I'll just put that down here so that I know whenever I'm going in to build it that this is what each space is reserved for. And then this is the living room, so I'll just put LR. And then over here I'll put desk, just so that I know where everything is. You can also draw some little arrows outside of the floor plan so that you could still kind of guess where everything is. And then, you know, it's just kind of easy to follow whenever you're building it. But there is a stair over here, and it looks like I will have enough space to put a 2 wide staircase here. So in The Sims 3, stairs are 4 long, so I'm just gonna sketch a 4 long line there and then just close it off there. And for stairs, this is what I draw for stairs. It's just a little box with a bunch of lines in it. And then this over here is actually just going to be like a little space because there's nothing really I can do with it. So I'm just going to close it off there, and I'll usually put like some little walls in it like that just to close it off. Or you can always, you know, do whatever you want with it, I guess, if there's anything else that you can think of to do with it. And then on this floor plan, it actually looks like the doorway comes back one here. So I'm just going to put a little door there, and then this right here is like a little porch area, so I'm just going to put a little note there so that I know. And then we are going to sketch in the garage, which is actually the same width as this over here, it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and sketch that in. And for garages, if you build a lot of garages, then you know that you'll need to include enough space for the little parking space in there. And I don't actually remember how big this space is. I know it's wide enough for one, and you could probably turn it according to that. So it doesn't really need to be exact unless the upstairs calls for it to be exact, which on this particular floor plan, the upstairs doesn't actually have a back part here. This part right here is the only part that it will be upstairs. So yeah, you don't really need to count for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and sketch it out however size I want, and then I'm going to count these squares here and then figure out where I'm going to be putting the door. And the garage doors in The Sims 3 are 4 wide, so yeah, this one works out perfectly because it's actually an even number, not an evil number, it's an even number. So I can just put the garage door there, and then I'll just sketch it like a little window. And it doesn't look like there's any more windows in here anywhere. You could always add some. I like to add one to the bottom of the stairs usually. I don't like to add one in the stairs, especially in a modern house, because they're going to be like floor length windows. So I don't like to add those in. But yeah, you can get a kind of an idea of where everything's going to go. And I'll just write in garage here because that's what it is. And then yeah, you can pretty much figure out the interior design portion of everything whenever you go into the game, so you don't really need to sketch that out unless you want to make it a little bit quicker for you whenever you go into the game. You can always sketch that out on the graph paper or whatever. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and sketch the bottom part of this, and then I will see you guys in GIMP and show you how you can create a graph paper using GIMP. Alright, so unfortunately this part ended up being longer than I had anticipated, and the next part is just as long. So instead of posting a 40-minute long tutorial, I am going to be splitting this tutorial into 2 parts. The second part will be going up tomorrow, and in that part I will be showing you how to plan your floor plan in GIMP, and how to actually go into the game and build it based on the floor plan that you have drawn out. So I'm sorry that I have to split it into 2 parts, but I didn't want to upload a 40-minute video. And then this speed build of the build that I will be doing will be going up later this week. So be sure to check back on my channel tomorrow for the second part of this tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the tutorial so far, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, or subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!